Good evening, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation and the world. This is Texas Biker Radio number 449. My name is Mel Popeye Moss.
Mel O.G. Robbins.
We are with Sons of Liberty Riders MC, who brings you this show each and every week, this podcast. And we hope everybody out across the country is doing well, in spite of the China virus and all the other crap that's going on around the world. And we've got a lot to talk about tonight. And yeah, we do have some biker news here in Texas, where our bills are now before the state legislature, and I want to talk about them just for a couple of minutes, you guys, before we move on to the heavy stuff. And really all of it is heavy stuff because it's the same thing we're seeing at the national level now that we've been seeing for 40 freaking years. It's absolutely incredible what we see going on and what we see happening to our cities, our states, our country, and the world. But let's get started, OG. Let's get started. We have 3 bills before the state legislature right now. And one of them is HB 1837. Now, we're wanting you guys to go to U.S. Defenders Region 2, or Texas Defenders Region 2, and take a look at those bills and contact your legislator and start pushing. Contact them and ask them to support these bills. Now, 1837 is relating to motorcycle profiling by police officers, because no one should be targeted or harassed and had data collected on them. Nobody. Just for what they might be wearing, what type of clothing they might be wearing. And so let's move on. There's HB 1838. Now this one's lengthy, relating to intelligence database for combinations and criminal street gangs, because our community has witnessed the arbitrary inclusion of motorcyclists into the Texas gang database, even though they may not have any affiliation with any club. And you guys know the story with this. We know there are innocent people that are in that gang database that don't belong in it. And yes, motorcycle clubs are not street gangs, as you mean street gangs. They're not. Now, I encourage you to go to Texas Defenders Region 2 on Facebook and read it for yourself. And then there's HB 2967, relating to the unlawful carrying of a handgun in a motor vehicle or watercraft, which is designed to offer relief for those who have never been convicted of a felony, have a license to carry by the state of Texas, but without the right of due process, have been arrested and had their guns confiscated due to a misapplication of Texas Penal Code 46.02, and we're familiar with that one, baby. Yeah, we are. And OG, I got to come out of the shirt. We had the door open and then we shut it because we were being bombarded by a bug. But I'll show you what I'm wearing in a minute. Here we go, everybody. OG, anything you want to say about these particular bills? We've been working on these for many years.
I'll tell you, in the past years, some of these bills were introduced way too late.
Yeah.
And we screamed loud and hard. And I don't know if anyone heard us directly, but finally, the work was started on this way in advance, months ago, which was very appropriate. So we feel confident for the first time that some of these may make it. I know you had one political friend
Mm-hmm.
that said many times that the Texas legislature is nothing but a bill-killing machine.
Yep.
And we have to keep that in mind. We operate with a great deficit here in the state of Texas, and that is our legislature only meets once every 2 years. Now, that may sound great for smaller government, less money spent, things like that, but when you are trying diligently to get legislation passed dealing with your rights, it becomes a bitch.
Yeah.
There's no other way to put it. I mean, you miss this train, guess what? It's 2 years before you get a chance to get that stuff on board the train again.
Yeah.
We do feel good, though, because there are people down in the Austin area that have been working diligently.
Yes, they have.
Getting sponsors in both the House and the Senate.
And the people in the West Texas area.
Right. West Texas also.
Yeah.
And, let's not forget, just because we get a sponsor on the representative side doesn't mean we can jump up and down for joy, because the damn thing's got to go through the Senate also.
And that's where you come in.
And if it doesn't pass both houses, guess what? No go.
Yeah. So we're encouraging you to help us along here, and get involved. It doesn't take much for you to contact your legislator.
Either
really
make
doesn't.
a phone call or email. But for God's sakes, call them or email them with a list of these bills and tell them to vote for them. You're a constituent. You expect them to vote for it.
And let me say one more time, at Texas Defenders Region 2 on Facebook, they're in writing, and it explains exactly how to do it. It's a matter of a phone call, a letter, an email. It's just a matter of that, to get in behind these bills on issues we've been working on for better part, I guess maybe more than a decade.
Yeah, and wouldn't you know it, we've got all this stuff primed and queued up, and Murphy rises its ugly head once again. Now, we're not going to talk specifics, because it usually is not a good thing when we do that. Don't really like to mention names or, who's who, but there was an incident in southern Texas that didn't do any of us any good at all.
Yeah. But let me say this. That hasn't anything to do with people that are being put in a criminal gang database that don't belong in it. Doesn't have anything to do with somebody that stopped on the side of the road and being profiled and harassed for no reason, just because they want to fill their gang database. Because they've got to show their value. They've got to go out there and collect names and collect data, no matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's a 4-year-old, as long as they have a name. But we know people right now that are facing criminal charges, and matter of fact is in the court system now, and has been for a very long time. And it's still going on. The harassment just goes on and on and on, and they can drag you through the system for years. For years, and it's just plain wrong. And so, yeah. There are over 330,000 motorcyclists here in the state of Texas. Let me tell you, that's one hell of a voting block. That's one hell of a voting block.
And to remind you, you know, if you're talking to your representative, you can state some statistics based on some analysis that has been done over the last couple of years. If you look at the general population, it's in the low 40 percentile of the general population that actually get out and vote. Now, the survey that was done these past couple of years, it was a good pool. The margin for error is less than 1%. Now, you see a lot of surveys out there where it'll say the margin of error is less than 5%, 10%, crap like that. But very seldom do you see one that says the margin of error is less than 1%. What you need to bring to the attention of these politicians is, if you take the biker community at large as a whole, we're not talking just traditional clubs, dominant clubs, MMs. We're talking the entire biker community, which also involves a hell of a lot of independents. The average, or the voting percentage of that population, being us, is in the 80 percentile. Now, you take that and you compound it with every voter usually has a sphere of influence of about 5 or 6. So, you want to throw that in too. When you talk to these legislators, you need to make a couple of different points, not just the legislation that you're in favor of and you want them to vote for, but you need to make sure you have mentioned to them some of the facts that I've just given you, because sooner or later it'll start sinking in. And if you need the backup documentation for that, we've got it. We're not just sitting here spewing hot air. We have the documentation. So, you know, remember those facts that we've given you.
Yeah, that's so true. And are we getting closer?
We are at 14 minutes and 42 seconds.
Uh-oh.
We're coming up on our 15-minute mark.
We have to do this really, really close to 15 minutes. Or
we have a few crews out there that wait patiently. They know this will occur 15 minutes into the broadcast, and it will also occur at close of the broadcast. So, for our friends who are out there listening, here's the next message. The Raven calls at midnight. The Raven calls at midnight. That's all.
I liked that one. That was cool.
That should get some action.
There you go. That should. Oh, okay. Oh, gee, we're talking about motorcycles right now. Have you heard about Harley-Davidson's certified pre-owned plan?
Hell, is starting to sound like BMWs and Mercedes-Benz.
Well, they've decided, Harley-Davidson has decided that in order to sell younger folks a motorcycle, they need to offer them a cheaper motorcycle, so they're doing certified pre-owned. You know, I would think that every Harley sold out of a Harley dealer should be a certified pre-owned, don't you? But this is their plan now.
Sounds good.
Besides that touring bike that goes all across the country, I haven't seen one yet. But I know it's not going to be for me to ride. I know it will not be made for a short person. Just saying, everybody.
Well, let me give you the latest cheap shot I heard from Can-Am. The people that make that stupid-looking tricycle that looks like it's an inbred cousin of the Slingshot. They've got a commercial floating around on TV that says, "We're not a gang."
Oh,
don't you love
really?
it? We are not a gang. We just ride. Implying that every one of us that have a Harley Davidson or sit on a two-wheel motorcycle
right.
are a member of a gang.
What some assholes. And you guys like and share right now, please. I forgot to say that at the first of the
I sat
podcast.
there. I damn near fell off the couch. And then I got pissed.
I'm floored.
Yeah.
And you know, we're already in a tussle with them over the fact that they're classified as a motorcycle, right?
Well, yeah, one of the vehicles they manufacture, and I mean they come right out and admit pretty publicly that it's a niche they have found on a vehicle they can produce that's damn near a car, but they don't have to put all the crap on it that they have to put on a car to make it to if it were called a car, they'd have to put all this extra in it to qualify.
I think they call that bill an auto cycle bill. I'm not
Right.
sure what the number
Right.
is, but we will find it and get it out there to you. Let me tell you, everybody, these people are getting away with some real safety violations.
And it's that famous company Polaris.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've got some... Now, Polaris owns Indian, and I know we got some Indian lovers out there, and God bless you. You know, I don't have a problem with an Indian. But the problem is the people that own that company are turning into some real dipshits. They are skirting a lot of safety laws so they can put a very unsafe vehicle out there called a Slingshot. Doesn't have hardly any safety gear in it. You can put a child in it. Doesn't even have a seat belt.
Nope.
There's no requirement for it. And now, you know, and they've always made the Can-Am, which, like I said, looks like an inbred cousin of the Slingshot. And they're talking about everybody, that doesn't have one of those belongs to a gang.
Yeah. There's not much more you can say about that. I mean, you can't go around and kick the guy's ass for buying one, I don't think, but wouldn't be kosher. But you can damn sure file some, let's see, we can make them pay by making them not being classified as a motorcycle anymore, because they are not. So, just my opinion. Okay, you guys, you ready to start ready to start just knocking the hell out of them? Not that we haven't been already. Good Lord. What did Pepe Le Pew do?
Oh,
You guys see him up there?
he's a lover.
What did he do besides like the female half? There's nothing wrong with that. What, is it because he's not gay? He's certainly debonair enough. Just saying, everybody. Now it's time for us to fight back. We got something else to fight back over. Now we don't drink Coke. Now we We tell Dr. Zeus, he says, bite me, to those people that are trying to cancel him also. It is insane out there, everybody. It's just flat ass insane. But let me say this. It gets worse. Way worse than trying to cancel some books and cartoons. It gets way worse than that. We've got Joe Biden, who's like the Wizard of Oz, and you got somebody back in the background who has the controls, that's controlling this hollow man. And that somebody, I do believe, myself personally, OG, is Barack Obama. He just admitted it the other day, just almost came out and said it, that would be his dream job, to be sitting in a basement somewhere and controlling everybody. And I do believe that's exactly what he's doing, because what they're doing right now is they're resetting. They're taking us back to the Barack Obama era.
Even worse.
And worse, yes. And worse. Because now he's got friends. And yes, they may be the Chinese. Back then it was the Arabs, but now it's the Chinese, I do believe. They've done a bang-up job on us. And they're, OG, from what? You guys, I have to insist tonight. If you got cable television, you know, it'll still be on YouTube too. I'm sure they'll upload it later on. Tucker Carlson tonight. Now, I don't watch much Fox News anymore. But you have to watch that tonight. You have to watch it and see what the Chinese are doing, and then in turn what we're doing. It is freaking frightening. And as a military man, which we are,
yep,
and we see what's happening to our military and why generals are going along with this shit, and that's what it is shit. Why they're going along with this, I don't get it. Is it a career move? Have they been bought off? What the hell is going on? And I'll give you guys a hint here. The Chinese are saying they're young, the young men in their population, they're becoming wussies. Now remember that? Remember this campaign that we had, the same thing, to feminize the boys? Well, the Chinese say, hey, it's happening to them, and we've got to stop this now. We've got to stop it now. But wait till you see the potato heads' response. Just wait till you see it. I'm at my wit's end. I went through the damn roof, you guys. Went through the roof. And, you know, like I said the other day, you know, all those young military men that I got a chance to talk to the other day, I told them, hey, we need your help, and we need it quick. We need this stuff to stop. You need to wheel that back over there?
Well, let's see. You got to go that way.
I got to teach him how to use the mouse. There he goes. He got it.
YouTube was trying to hide a message.
Yeah, YouTube was trying to hide a message. That's what was going on. So we made it where it would show. Yeah. Incredible, guys. Just think, it's taken us less than a year for the nuts of the world to take the #1 economy. That's what's our economy. #1 oil producer in the world. And it's taken them less than a year to put us on the road to hell.
Hell, it's less than 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the truth of it. Especially after the election that wasn't an election. You know what I mean? Just so I can get around the YouTube bullshit. But we're probably going to get a strike for something we did probably weeks ago. I mean, it's all steered by a band of left-wing misfits led by Barack Hussein Obama. My opinion.
Of course, it'd be interesting to know who's pulling Obama's strings.
That's true. That's true.
Because you can't tell me that man is super intelligent. He's just smoother.
He's a community organizer.
Yep.
And that's what we've had happen to us, along with some great psyops. Yeah. But now we've got out there in front, the people we're seeing, or not the potato head so much, but the people that are out there in front, the damnedest bunch of misfits we've ever seen in our life are being put in these positions. I mean, take the he/she,
yeah.
and then this latest one. What was her name? Vito somebody. I've got it wrote down here somewhere. Where did I put it? Anyway, the strangest looking people. Now, I know I'm not the best looking guy in the world. Cancer's beat the hell out of me. But, man, we've got some people that are really, really zingers up there that are in these positions. And crazy as hell in the policies they want to implement. They're going to take us down a road that we're not. I don't know how we're going to recover from it. Because let me say this, OG, when they shut everything down and they convinced Donald Trump and everybody else, hey, we gotta do the curve thing. 2 weeks for the curve. Remember that? And they shut everything down, and finally Trump says, hey, we can't stay shut down. We can't stay shut down. Let me tell you guys, there's a word. I'm going to show you real quick if I brought this up here. No, I didn't. Well, I'm all screwed up tonight. Anyway, there is, when they stopped doing the mortgages, where people were able to skate on their mortgages, I don't think they ever thought this would end up a year, some of them, that these people wouldn't be paying their rent, wouldn't be paying their mortgages. Well, Lance brought up to me today, he says, hey, look, a lot of those deals, they didn't include mean that you stop your escrow.
Well,
they're going to be
the minute this is lifted,
yeah.
Let's say you haven't paid your mortgage payment for 9 months.
Yeah.
You immediately owe the back 9 months. It didn't freeze everything in time. It just made an allowance. It said, hey, you don't have to pay now, but you're going to have to pay later. The pay later was in fine print and spoken very softly. It was a warm fuzzy, or it made everyone feel a warm fuzzy that, hey, I don't have to pay my rent because I don't have a job. I don't have any money. And that's true. You didn't have to pay the rent or the mortgage for now. But it's the old deal, pay me now or pay me later. And there are going to be foreclosures up the ass and people ejected from their rental properties. Unfortunately, it's coming.
Yeah. And forbearance is what it was.
There you go.
Look it up, everybody.
Yep.
Look it up. Forbearance. And I think I have it wrote in the description down below. If I didn't, I'll write it. I'll write it in there. There's a young guy on YouTube the other day that was talking about leaving California. Now he's a real estate guy in Hollywood. He's used to selling houses that cost millions and millions. He said, man, this is fixing to be bad here. He said California's fixing to go to hell because of these forbearance deals. All these things are going to come due. And guess what the state is going to do? The people are going to end up being foreclosed on. And the state is going to come in there and buy up those properties. Yep. They're already planning on it, everybody. They're already planning on it.
Well, the fact is there are several $1 billion set aside in this COVID bill that they think they're voting on maybe tomorrow, where it passed the Senate. Now it had to go back to the House because it was modified. So the House has to vote on it. Once the House votes, then the president can sign it. The issue being, part of the pork in there is there are several $1 billion set aside for the blue states and cities that are in the toilet financially, and it's all bailout money for their buddies.
Let's watch and see. Let's watch and see if they bail out the people or if they use that money to buy up properties and other scams. We got a lot of crap going on here. A lot of crap going on. And you know,
so if the government starts buying up all these properties, that's another notch towards socialism.
Yeah.
Because now it's going to be government-provided housing.
It's going to be, you know, and
that's part of the scheme.
Oh, gee, that forbearance thing that they were doing, the leeway they gave them was supposed to expire in January.
Right.
And then they went, oh shit, this is fixing to expire. We can't have this. So they kicked it on down the road. Meanwhile, in California, they're still closed down. In New York, all these other states, they're still closed down. And many of their businesses are not coming back. They're in deep shit.
Now, just also days shy of expiration, they have extended the unemployment scenario into the future, I think until next September, if I remember right. Now, all they did there was they reduced the amount from $400 a week to $300 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, I'm not trying to beat on anyone that's financially down. I mean, you know, you got to put food on the table. You got to pay for electricity. You got to pay for a place for your family to be. The problem is there's a great majority of people out there that are living on the off the dole, and they're going to get so used to all these subsidies, this extra unemployment, the whole bit. Remember, it wasn't that long ago they had trouble getting people back to work because they were making too much unemployment. Yeah. And now it's just shy 100 a week of what it was.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're driving us closer and closer to socialism, and then after that, it'll be communism.
Let me tell you guys, this is it's not quite there, but I do believe it's getting to be almost to the point of no return. Or is it going to be civil war over states' rights? Because tonight the governor sent National Guard troops down to the border.
Right, but the problem is, I think they're pretty limited in what they can do. The other thing to keep an eye on is the Pentagon has just approved extending the National Guard's stay at the nation's capital.
What some fuckheads.
Okay?
That pisses me off, everybody.
Yeah. So, you know, you got to wonder, why the hell does our capital have to be surrounded by barbed wire and and military. Well, there's a damn good reason. When your form of government is so piss poor, you've got to worry about what in the hell the population's going to do next, because they may be coming for you. So, just keep your eye on that. It's more than disturbing what's going on today. I know a lot of people would like to have us just sit here and talk about biker this and biker that, talk about different clubs and things like that, but that's not what we're truly all about. Sons of Liberty Riders, who actually is behind Texas Biker Radio, is all about constitutional rights. And what we're talking about here is stuff that's going to affect every biker out there.
Everybody.
Everybody's going to be affected. We're getting into a multitude of gun rights issues later this month. That obnoxious voting bill that they're trying to push through. They also talked once on the news about packing the courts. I mean, everything is rearing its ugly head. It is more than disturbing. And let me tell you something. It has gone way beyond anyone filing any lawsuits anymore.
Yeah.
Because nobody gives a shit. The Supreme Court did away with everything that was put up there to deal with this last election. They threw everything out. There's nothing left.
People are fixing to have buyer's remorse like nobody's business. As gas starts to skyrocket, I just see where Randy Russell said it was $3.40 a gallon in California, and it's now $2.60 here.
Well, I just drove by Walmart. It was $2.58.
$2.58.
And it was $2.58 at Kroger, so that means I can get it for $2.55.
So it's
Kroger
climbing,
card.
baby. This is the way they want it. This is what they want happening.
At this point, I have to seriously think about refueling whenever I'm down to 3/4 of a tank or half a tank, just to maintain my sanity.
Yeah, just to make you feel good.
Yeah.
Don't let it get below a half. It is insanity. Just what I was saying, everybody. You've got to point out. You've got to speak up. You've got to point out to anybody, everybody to listen, even the people they're bringing into this country. We've got to tell them, hey, you're coming here, you fucked up, everybody. And excuse my French, everybody. I know we have Christian motorcyclists and people over on Constitutional Warriors. Excuse my French. I am just so mad at what I see going on and what I've seen going on since I've been involved in politics since 2004. It's like I've said in the past, the more I see these two sides fight with each other, the further we slip into the abyss of socialism. And now we're here. We had one respite because of Donald Trump. One. And now he's throwing down the gauntlet. He just threw down the gauntlet to the GOP. Do not use my name. Do not use my name in order to help any rhino. And now, OG, we've got rhinos that are stepping up and saying, hey, they're not going to run again. Old Turtle Man Mitch, he's not going to run again. There's another one in there, too. I can't remember his name.
That's because he doesn't want to be totally humiliated.
Exactly. And so those people are on the S list. And they're not going to get any money. Let me tell you, Donald Trump right now is the GOP. No matter how much they deny it and say they're going to fight it, they're not going to be able to. So we've got a lot of work to do, and I just can't imagine what our military has done. I just can't imagine that they're sitting back and watching this. We have fought, OG and I have fought, hundreds of thousands of other soldiers. Soldiers have died fighting communism. And here it is on our doorstep. Here it is in the halls of the Congress.
It's embedded in the population.
Exactly. Those young people that are out there that are marching right now, haven't a clue what they've done to themselves. Haven't a clue. Many, and I can tell you right now, our children haven't a clue of what is happening to them right this minute. Now, the one thing, OG, when we went to the protest this weekend, there's a lot of young people out there.
I did notice that.
And you know what? That's one thing we didn't have in the Tea Party. We didn't have young people. We didn't have young people with energy. So, you know, I was glad, really glad to see that. That gives me some hope. But now we've got to see hope coming from other directions.
Well, it more than points out what really went on in November.
Yeah.
You know, everywhere you go, everywhere you hear about Trump supporters, there's a multitude of them. Mm-hmm. And what was ridiculous, I was watching Newsmax tonight, and Trump's son came on, and Trump had to go up to New York and visit Trump Tower.
Oh, yeah.
He had some business to conduct. He had some things to check on. You know, the kids had been running the business ever since he'd been in the White House, and I think he just wanted to sit down and look at stuff to make sure it was still doing what it was supposed to do, and that's okay. That's what the big boss is supposed to do occasionally. But I noticed as I was checking out Facebook today and my email, and you know, the Yahoo News kept popping up, and one of the things that popped up was, again, those lying, sorry sons of bitches in the media were talking about when Trump went to New York, he was greeted by one supporter. That was their big news thing, and I think it was actually the Huffington Post that did that. And anytime I see anything from the Huffington Post, I puke anyway. But the bottom line was Trump's son was talking about the huge party that was thrown, all the people that had gathered to welcome Trump back into New York.
Yeah.
So once again, the media ain't telling it the way it is, just like the dog bite, where they had to send Biden's dogs back to Delaware because one of them bit one of the security personnel in the White House. You know, in the media, all they said was that there was an incident with the dogs. The dogs had an incident. Sounded like one of them pissed on the carpet or laid a pile in the main rotunda or something. You know, they don't want to discuss anything bad that is going on with the current administration. I'm telling you, the media that we have today, with the exception of very few, are worse than what we have in government today.
That's true. They're scoundrels. And you know, it's the reason I don't watch any mainstream media. I don't even watch my local news unless it's just the weather, briefly. I don't watch any of that crap. Because they're liars too. They're part of the network. They're there to push a narrative. They're not your friend. They come into your living room every evening. They're not your friends.
And I'm pretty damn sure they're a good portion of the cancel culture.
Exactly.
They have to be, because they're reporting on it They're pushing it. They're
Exactly.
pushing that agenda.
They are pushing that agenda.
So the irony here is you have the media, journalists, that are promoting censorship.
Yeah.
Because that's all cancel culture is blatant censorship. That's just another word they've dreamt up so you don't call it what it is.
If our videos disappear off of YouTube tonight, know that you can go to Rumble. Know that you can go to TexasBikerRadio.org and see this video in its entirety. No matter what YouTube does, no matter what they say, we will get the truth out there as we know it, as we can find it out. You know, because nothing tells us like our own eyes do and our own ears. When we witness things, and then, you know, when we're told, no, you didn't witness what you just witnessed. Well, wait a minute, I saw it. Well, no, you didn't. So they're going to tell you, no, you didn't, until they think that you believe it didn't happen. They'll say it as many times as they need to say it. Again and again and again.
We've been asked, what's the name of our page on Rumble?
It is, on Rumble, it is TBR News. But I'm going to change that soon. It's going to be changed to the regular Texas Biker Radio News. I will try and get that done ASAP. And
but we'll always have a link there for you.
Yeah, we'll put a link on Facebook as long as we're on Facebook and they don't throw us off too. But and I'm surprised that hasn't been done already. Because then again, we don't know. We never know. They run behind on the things that they do, because they will throw you off over something that happened weeks and maybe months ago. So you're just kind of winging it till something happens. But we got multiple channels that will pop back up on if that happens, and that's happening a lot right now. OG, there's guys that we know that also do podcasts. They're getting thrown off all the time. So now they're starting to link together and be on each other's podcasts, so they can get the word out. And that's kind of interesting that that's developing too.
Yeah.
Because I heard a couple of them talking about today. They're doing just that. They're trying to get on each other's shows so they can continue.
Right.
And work around the problem. That's what you do. I want to show you something, guys.
I was going to say, it's time for the fashion show.
Yeah, here we go.
Hit the runway.
Hit the runway. Oh, man, I'm almost not tall enough. I should have did the other camera. That is our new support shirt.
Show them the back.
Oh, man. I don't know if I'm tall enough. Let me see.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, those are our new support shirts. We're selling those on TBR to help support TBR and the club. And if you're interested in obtaining one of them, we're selling them for $15.
TexasBikerRadio.org. They're up right now.
Yeah, go to TexasBikerRadio.org. We even have tank tops for women.
I like tank tops. Not for guys, though.
Yeah.
Okay. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I think, that was my big deal was the was the thing about Can-Am and, we're not a gang.
That's crazy, everybody. That's crazy.
Yeah, that pisses me off to have Polaris out there talking about people on two wheels are part of a gang.
Yeah.
As opposed to their three-wheeled, inbred, funny trikes that are built in reverse.
I've never liked those damn things. It just never did. Give me I guess if I have to have three wheels, give me a traditional three-wheeler.
Right.
Yeah, been around forever. But anyway, let's say hi to some people here. Forrest, how are you doing, Forrest Dusman? Napa, Sonny, Randy Russell, David Jones, Solar Dutch, how you doing, Dutch? Why aren't you here? I waited. David Garcia, how you doing, sir? Let's see, I got Bones. It is Bones, right? Yeah. And I got to jump around here between everybody. Mater's Workshop. If I missed anybody, I'm sorry.
Let me get our final message out tonight.
Okay.
To our friends that are out there waiting. The message is, the raven calls at midnight. The raven calls at midnight. That is all.
There you go. And OG and I and a few others will be on the road this weekend. We'll try to stay in contact as we're headed out across the country. Where are we going, OG?
We're going to Black Canyon, Arizona.
There you go. So
we're doing it's a last ride for one of our chapter presidents.
Yeah. Yeah. So everybody, if anything, I don't know how much worse could happen, but it can. I know it can. We'll be back on post-haste.
Keep your eyes peeled on what in the hell's going on in D.C. for the balance of the week. It does not sound good.
Participate, everybody. Participate. Join our Constitutional Warriors page on Facebook. Join it. We're going to be attacking some more places this week. I'm going to post a number tomorrow, so be ready. Let's put the word out there. Hey, these people too can play at the game they're playing. They certainly can. With that, everybody, have a great evening.
Good night.
Bye-bye.